You want to be part of the video? Hi, baby. Hey, guys. Minecraft is kind of a mess. I'm sure there are some who would argue that point, but I should clarify that what I'm discussing is not gameplay or design, but stability. Minecraft has been available in varying capacities over the last 15 years, and it's only natural that a game that is that old, that also requires consistent continuity over like 10 different systems, might have a game-breaking bug or three. Luckily, Mojang, the development team behind Minecraft, is fully aware of these potential issues and have developed robust systems to prevent players from losing progress unnecessarily. And if there were any truth in that statement, I wouldn't be making this video. Let me explain. If you've followed me for any length of time, you're likely aware of the 13-year-old plus Minecraft world that my friends and I have collectively put thousands, if not tens of thousands of hours into creating. Last year we actually streamed a full tour of it, and it took nearly 10 hours for us to get through. We don't remember exactly when we started the world, but we know it was sometime before the Xbox 360 updated to creative mode in 2012. The world has traveled with us across the last 3 console generations, and my friends and I now play it on Xbox, on Switch, and on PC. I'll also say it's pretty significant to me sentimentally because it acts as kind of an interesting time capsule that reminds me of old friendships, old inside jokes, and old feelings. Now, currently the world is accessible via Realms, Mojang's proprietary subscription-based server client. I've been toying with the idea of building an in-home server and migrating the world over to it because I determined it would be more cost-effective in the long run. That's an important note. Keep it in your back pocket. When I say Minecraft is unstable, what I mean is that it's not uncommon for official updates to break certain aspects of the game. This can and does vary in intensity. It can be something as small as, say, a water line very clearly being delineated between pre and post update, or changing the biome of an area, though that could be more dramatic depending on the circumstance. Or, you know, you could lose 2 months of work on a world, which happened to us.
So, probably about 5 years ago, because I don't think it was that
It was 5 or 6 years ago, I think.
I think 6.
we had built a bunch of stuff, and something happened with the server where we lost a ton of progress.
There was a couple months worth, I think.
It was definitely enough that we were like, wow, that sucks.
Yeah.
It wasn't like a couple of days we were like, oh, we could fix that. It was enough that it was bothersome. Connor built this temple to appease the Minecraft gods, so as to pray that it would never again happen to us.
This is the temple that keeps us from having a third cannon.
A bit of praise for Mojang before I spend the remainder of the video ripping them to shreds. One of the things Realms does really well is creating consistent online backups of whatever world you're hosting. Even if players aren't online, Mojang's system will still make regular copies of the realm that you can easily re-upload if something catastrophic happens in your survival realm and you want very much to pretend that it didn't. Online backups only get you so far though. If I learned anything in my deep dive into data maintenance, it's that you need to have multiple copies of your data across multiple mediums, preferably some of which are offline. And I'm not going to sit here and pretend that I'm perfect at that. I'm certainly not. It's still something I'm actively working towards. But what I will say is that my friends and I collectively were pretty good about making regular backups of the world. All of this culminated a couple of weeks ago when I encountered an issue. There'd been a fair amount of development in the world around this time period, and we decided that it would be safest to go ahead and make another offline backup. And when I attempted to do so, I was hit with this. Apparently there is a 4 GB download size limit on Minecraft for console. Obviously, I was very confused by this. I couldn't personally see a reason not to be able to download a file of this size on my console outside of not having enough space on my hard drive. It's not as if Microsoft servers don't move around 4 GB of data on a regular basis. Matter of fact, Realms is still actively making online backups of the world at its full size right now, which are also useless because I can't download those either. So my option was to download the most recent online backup that had been made where the file size was still less than 4 GB, which was from October. This was in January. So naturally, the next course of action would be to just download the world on PC. I don't agree with whatever reasoning the team might have to not allow this download size on console. Not that they provided any reason, but it's console. Sometimes there's weird stuff that happens behind the scene. I'll forgive it. No harm, no foul. The only problem, of course, being that I don't own Minecraft on PC. So that's another $30 I wasn't planning on spending, but it'll all be worth it if it means that I don't have to worry about our precious world. Son of a bitch. It's worth mentioning at this point that any attempt I made to upload a backup version of the world to the realm was met with the same error. If the file is larger than 4 gigabytes, you can't upload it either. Now what that means is the only way that I can have usable backups of the world is to take the backup from October and put it on a private server. There are no other options. Further complicating this already painful scenario is that for seemingly no reason, and despite it being a baked-in feature on Bedrock on PC, you cannot access private servers on consoles without pulling some OS fuckery that's borderline soft modding. I'm not really interested in trying to make my friends do that just to play on the world we've already had access to. Sorry. Now, my personal theory as to why this feature is not accessible on console is because, money. They want your money. You remember that thing I said about keeping that note in your back pocket? Pull it out now. Mojang would rather console players be required to pay for realms to access worlds when hosts are offline than to give them the courtesy of allowing them to mingle with those plebeian PC players. As if paying Microsoft for online play in the first place wasn't enough, but you know, that's a different discussion. So to summarize, I can't download a backup of my realm because it's too big. Even if I did, I couldn't re-upload that backup because it's too big. If I took the most recent backup that I have and put it on a private server, my friends couldn't play with me, and no explanation has been given as to why on either front, even considering the fact that none of this should be an issue given current builds of the game and the fact that Mojang servers are handling larger file sizes regularly. Having exhausted my options and having done some research that implies that these are known issues with no clear solutions, I threw a Hail Mary and submitted a support ticket. I tried to communicate the issue as clearly and kindly as I reasonably could, even though I didn't want to. So I guess now that we've hit this point, we just sit back and wait for them to respond. Ooh. Admittedly, it was a bit of a stretch to assume that the human beings whose job it is to help people would actually respond and try to help. Of course, it really is my fault. I should have considered, making a backup of the realm. That might have helped. I'm not really sure what we do at this point. We've tossed around a couple of ideas, none of which are ideal. But it all comes back to the fact that none of us are comfortable with the idea that we won't have a backup of the realm offline in case some update bricks everything. The only thing we've decided for sure at this point is we're going to do another walkthrough stream series. That'll include more people who helped on the realm, more detail, and admittedly more pixels, because there weren't enough of those last time. That's my bad. Outside of that, we're still figuring it out. My hope genuinely is that this video may raise some awareness of this problem, and genuinely, if you've experienced any issues similar to this, I would love to hear about it, especially if you figured out a way around it or how to solve it. If for no other reason, then it may feed my current frustration with this game. In the interim, we're not really gonna play much Minecraft outside of the world tour. We don't really want to make a whole bunch of progress that won't mean anything. I don't really have a great way to end this video, if I'm perfectly honest. I'm frustrated. All of this is dumb. None of this should be an issue. It's just frustrating. I appreciate you watching. If you want to yell at Mojang, more power to you. I certainly don't have any qualms with it at this point. I really just hope that we'll be able to keep playing on the world that we've spent the last 13 years in, but we'll have to see. Either way, look forward to those tour videos at some point in the near future.